Alright, so in this problem, again, we're trying to figure out how we can use a loop structure and an array together to solve a problem. In this one, what we're doing is we are going to be traversing an array. The traversal of an array is just this idea that you're visiting every single element for whatever reason. In this case, we have to figure out if each element is even, because we want to keep count of the total number of evens we have within the array. So that should signal some sort of temporary variable to keep track of the number of even numbers. We'll just call that, count. We know that our count is going to start at 0. So again, count for number of evens. And then, since we're doing a traversal, let's go ahead and set up a loop that will visit every single element. This idea that we need to have an index variable that will be changing from 0 all the way to the very last index of that array. For int I equals 0, I less than length, I plus plus. So again, here in this case, we have this variable I that will be incrementing its value by 1 every single time, and it's going to go up to the number before the length. So this is our stopping condition. For example, if we have 10 elements within nums, it should go from index 0 to 9. Remember that our last index is at 9 in that case, because our indexing starts at 0. Alright, so within the for loop, what we need to do is examine an element to figure out whether or not it is an even number. And we do that, of course, with the modulo operator. We do nums of I, mod 2 equals 0. So remember that mod returns the remainder for that division. So this says, take whatever element this is at I and divide it by 2. You don't return the division, but the remainder after the division. So this is saying if this is equally divisible by 2. In other words, if you divide by 2 and there is no remainder, then it is equally divisible. That is what that logic is accomplishing there. And so what we need to do is increment our count if that is the case. Outside the for loop, what that signals is that we have traversed the entire array. We have visited every single element to check whether or not they are an even number. What we need to do now is return the total count, and that should complete the problem for us. As you can see, if you submit this, of course, my screen is not going to capture it, but you see that it runs just fine. Again, that problem is all about the traversal of an array using a while loop or a for loop. You could also use an enhanced for loop if you really wanted to.